What is up, everybody? Welcome into Rising to the Occasion Live, here for our second edition. Very sorry about the late start. First, we put out the post that we were starting at 7, then got to realizing that we go live at 7:30, so what are we doing? Rushing ourselves. And then, of course, technical difficulties, getting all set up and everything. But we are here, we are live, and we are ready to rock and roll with you guys to get going on it because we've got a lot to get into tonight. And we definitely don't want to run anybody past their bedtimes or anything like that. Jeremy, I'm looking at you. No, I'm just kidding. I probably go to sleep way earlier than you typically. But man, Jeremy, it feels like it's been packed in the world of sports, but it really has just been around a couple of specific topics. We'll get to them. Some of that stuff that happened this weekend, looking forward, what's going to be going on. Of course, our rapid rants and so much more. Before we get into it, man, Jeremy, how you been doing?
Doing pretty good. Then we've had some eventful weeks. I know we spent some time out at the Sasquatch Cave watching some not UFC fighting just because I initially thought it was a UFC weekend. Then I realized when I got down to the cave, I'm like, okay, this is not UFC, but I'm still going to watch it because it's fighting. But I mean, it's definitely been really, really fun to see everything go on. I mean, just watching the Super Bowl, of course, then just being able to catch up on the Olympics. I know it kind of sucks for me just being a big hockey fan. It's kind of at that dead point right now just because the Olympics are going on, but still, that's besides the point. Just still being able to watch hockey just for representing our corresponding country and just watching everything come together is definitely still just fun just to watch sports and everything go at it. But Josh, I know we got a lot to talk about tonight, so I'm going to cut the chit chat just so we don't get past your bedtime and we can just get rolling with it here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Britton unable to join us as he's traveling. So he's been slacking. So we need to get him to pick up on the slack. And of course, had last week off for personal reasons, really for all of us. And so excited to get into it. But like you said, we're going to cut the chit chat, Jeremy. Let's get into it. First, starting off with the name that we actually can't even say. And it's probably against some sort of rules or restrictions to even have the name on the screen, I think. But we're just going to refer to it as the big game and see if we can get away with it. But the big game happened yesterday, and I think the game, personally, I mean, we'll talk about a lot of things here before we get into the game, but I personally think that, I enjoyed the game itself. I thought that when you look at past Super Bowls and what they've done there, I just felt like this game felt more exciting to me, but I like defensive football. And so I thought that was a lot of fun. But before we get into the game and talk about that, first, some other traditions that go into the Super Bowl. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the Super Bowl is not just for people who watch football and enjoy football, but it's also for people who just know that there's a big game on and they get a party together and get a bunch of friends over and have a good time.
Yeah.
And so, of course, there's traditions like the commercials. And I kind of wanted to start off there. Were there any commercials that really stood out to you? Because I felt like it was just disappointing. I mean, it has been the past few years, but this year really felt disappointing overall.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, there was only one commercial that really stuck out to me, but I can't remember exactly which commercial it was. But the only reason why I say this specific commercial stuck out to me the most is because I saw a dirt track, and the dirt track I actually have been to multiple times was over in Boone Speedway at the IMCA Super Nationals. But I mean, that's the only commercial that stuck out to me. I'm like, hey, I know that place. I've been there. But outside of that, I mean, there really wasn't a whole bunch of commercials that stuck out to me. I mean, the one that kind of really that kind of got me in the heart was the Pepsi commercial where it's the Coca-Cola Bears. I'm like, that's not what it's supposed to be. Leave it to
Yeah.
Coke. But I
Well,
mean, that one was like,
that one was actually really good too. So I mean, I guess it would have been when we were really young and even before our time as well. That like the whole thing for Coke, it was kind of like a big competition between Coke and Pepsi. And so the
true.
big thing for Coke was the polar bear, and the polar bear would do the blind taste test and always pick the Coca-Cola every time. And
Hmm.
this one, so it was kind of a play on that. I thought that was pretty funny. And then him being in the therapy chair and everything, like going through like this life crisis, and he's like, I guess
Yeah.
I'm a Pepsi Zero guy now. And so that
Yeah.
one was pretty good. I guess I forgot about that. The only one that really stood out to me that was actually funny, like the whole thing, was, I guess it was an Instacart, I think it was, where it was Benson Boone and Ben Stiller, and they were out
Yeah,
there and they
it
were
was.
dancing, and Benson Boone kept on stealing the spotlight, so Ben Stiller jumps up on the top and tries
Yeah.
backflipping off and everything. It
Yeah.
was just like that was like the only commercial that I was like, that's a Super Bowl commercial. Nothing else really felt the Coca-Cola, or sorry, the Pepsi one, kind of competing against and making fun of, not really making fun of, but kind of taking a dig at Coca-Cola. That one was a pretty good one. So I would say that there was two. Outside of that, I can't think of any commercials that were just like, that is a Super Bowl commercial, and it's disappointing. Even though that's not what I watched the Super Bowl for, I still look forward to that part of it, and I didn't even get to enjoy that.
Yeah, it definitely was kind of I wouldn't say disappointing, but I mean, realistically, kind of was. But I mean, still, at the end of the day, I'm still going to pick Coke for the Coca Cola bear then. But I mean, it definitely was really, really surprising, Josh, because I mean, this is the grandest stage of all. It's the game. A lot of people do really like to watch the game just for some watching just the commercials. But I mean, it's one thing to talk about the commercials, Josh, but I mean, we can keep talking a lot about that. But a lot of people have been talking so much about this halftime show. And Josh, I'm going to kick it off with you first. Give me your honest opinion of the halftime show. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I mean, give me your overall thought of it.
It's just not for me, honestly. Like it, I think that okay. So here's where I've stood before in the first part of it, and really where I still stand. It is an American sport. I get that it's, and I'm not trying to say anything negative about that. It's just, I mean, I don't understand like how you can bring just a totally Spanish, like the whole show is Spanish. I didn't understand anything. So I mean,
Hmm.
that's just a personal gripe. I just feel like it has to be relatable. And I know Puerto Rico's part of America, it's American territory. I get that. I'm just saying that Spanish is not what the majority of Americans, especially Americans who are watching football, what they're into. I just feel like that Super Bowl halftime show wasn't really to cater to the mass, the majority of actual football watchers, the guys that are going to be tuning into that game.
Yeah.
And that's my gripe with it, I guess. Overall, if I were to give my opinion on the performance, I thought the performance seemed pretty cool. A lot of props. I thought the fact that they got all that out there and all of it back really quick, really cool. I mean, really good overall performance, I guess. It's just not my music. I also watched the other halftime show that was a big. I was just curious about it, so I know Dad and I watched that, and we kind of I watched both of them, and I felt like both of them were not Super Bowl halftime shows. Okay, so the Bad Bunny halftime show was a halftime show. It's just I want something that's going to be for the football watchers. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I guess that's where I stand. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe a lot of football watchers really love Bad Bunny and listening to music that they don't like in a language that they don't speak. It's just that every person that I know, I don't know. I'll say this: I don't know many people who watch American football that speak Spanish, and so I guess that's just where my disconnect with it was. And it's not my type of music. But then again, I thought the performance was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Josh. I mean, there's a part of me that liked the performance, and there wasn't a part of me that didn't necessarily like the performance. The reason why I say that I didn't necessarily like the performance is because I don't speak Spanish. I'm obviously going to put that out there, and then like it kind of sucked not knowing like what the background or like what the storyline behind music is. It's obviously all a lot of music has a storyline behind it, but I mean, like I said, I don't speak Spanish, but that's totally on me for not learning Spanish. But like the part that I did like about the performance, like I listen to a lot of music. Don't get me wrong. Anybody who knows me knows I listen to a crap ton of music. Like it doesn't necessarily matter to me to absolutely know every song 110%, but just being able to listen to the music and just vibing to the music and just seeing what the just a glimpse of the Puerto Rican culture is like on the halftime performance. I mean, it was definitely really really cool to see like what it is like in Puerto Rico for people that have never been to Puerto Rico and just always kind of wonder what it was like outside of what most people usually see as a postcard. But I mean, it definitely has its pros and cons for my sake. Like, I'm not going to sit here and bash about the halftime show, but I mean, still at the end of the day, like I said, the only disadvantage I have to sincerely say about the halftime shows just because I don't speak Spanish. That's really about it.
Yeah, well, and like the other big disconnect for me, again, I don't, I don't, I don't really speak for the rest of people who watch football. It's just
Hmm.
that's not my type of music, I guess. I didn't know a single song, so that's why I had a huge disconnect with it. So I
Neither
don't
did
really have
I.
anything like extremely negative. I know if you go down the deep rabbit hole of looking into all of the, which I talked about this last week, or I guess not last week, but the last time that we had our live show, where I hate bringing politics into it, and so that's why I just stay out of like looking into what people had to say about the secret messages behind everything. I thought, he came out and he had a cool show. It's just it wasn't my like the music. I've never heard a single song, never heard one. I didn't
Yeah.
even know who Bad Bunny was until someone said, "Yeah, that's that guy on Happy Gilmore 2 that was the caddy," and I was like, "Oh, okay." He didn't speak Spanish there, so I'm confused. And then yeah, I didn't know who he was. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I should listen to his music before going into it. But then again, I'm also kind of selective with the type of music I listen to. So if I don't know the language, then I'm not going to listen to it because I might be listening to something that I just morally disagree with. I don't know. And so I'm fairly selective on the music I listen to. I'm like you. I do like several genres. I like just about every genre really. I just if the music sounds good. And I will say this: I thought the Bad Bunny music itself, it sounded pretty cool. I just have no idea what was going on. So
Yeah.
I'm disconnected there. The broadcast team, on the other hand, I understood, and they're just so boring. I will say, and we're going to get to the game. I will say that was a tough game to try to broadcast because it wasn't until like the third quarter that the Patriots got really close to the third quarter. The Patriots finally got a first down. So no, I guess they got a first down in the second quarter, but I think it wasn't until late in the third quarter when they got their second first down. So there wasn't really much to go on there. I will bring up. It's funny because again we're gonna have to fix all this stuff, but Niners says performance took a lot of moving parts. Other piece to that is compared to previous halftime shows, why was there such a focus on making it another language and being different this year? Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I can go
Overall, I
along with that.
didn't want to jump on from our topic before touching in the comments, but yeah, I feel like I don't know. It's a decision, I guess, and I don't know if there was some sort of malicious thought behind that decision or if it was just simply that uh, it just so happened that he is a Grammy-winning like top artist. So let's throw him out there. Maybe that's it. But anyways, going to the broadcast team, I did feel like there wasn't a whole lot going on in the game, so it was a tough one for the broadcast team to try to make exciting. Personally, like I said, I like defensive football, so I thought the game was really good. Broadcast team, though, like as soon as I saw that Chris Collinsworth is on the call, just I don't know, get out of here with that. I I don't know. He seemed like he just wasn't on top of his game either. Like my dad and I were noticing, like every time that they would show him, he was like looking off to the side trying to read like the teleprompter or
The
his
prompt.
notes or something. Yeah, and so I just felt like that, and then like even when there was exciting plays, it was like there wasn't any excitement to the broadcast team, and I don't know. I had a big gripe with that, probably more so than the halftime show, which I didn't understand. So yeah, I didn't like this broadcast team, and I don't like it for the Super Bowl. Give me, my dad and I were talking. Give me like a whole squad of uh, you have why am I Troy Aikman, Tom Brady, Tony Romo, and there's another former player that does a lot of broadcasting, a recent player that I'm trying to think of. Throw Gronk in there for the heck of it. But
Why
if
not?
if you were to give us guys like that I like Tom Brady. I like Joe Buck. I think does a pretty good job. But I think if you were to do like Tom Brady and Troy Aikman, if you were to put those two in the booth together, I don't know how they pair very well with each other. And I guess you probably need an analyst more, or I guess that your main play-to-play commentator more than just an analyst. But yeah, if you were to throw like four Hall of Fame guys in there, how much more fun would that be?
I mean, me honestly, I feel like that would definitely bring the ante up a whole bunch. Like we're used to hearing Chris Collinsworth or like Al Michaels every single year. I mean, obviously we grew up listening to Al and Chris both when they were calling together, but ever since, at least this is just my personal opinion. It seems like ever since they split up, that it seems like they've definitely changed. But I mean, looking at 9 or 84-57, I mean, Tom and Tony on the same broadcast team, I mean, definitely be great calls and great commentary. That's for sure. I would definitely agree with that one. But I mean, like even throwing like another name out there, like I know he's known more for college football, but I mean having um not Lee Corso, but I mean I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Him and his dog.
Oh,
Uh
yeah, Kirk Herbstreit.
yeah, Kirk Herbstreit. I
So
mean,
I like if you were to go along that route, I know Chris Fowler has done some NFL games. If you were to do
yeah.
Chris Fowler as your play-to-play guy, I don't know. I mean, you can pick really any of the NFL broadcasters. Maybe not pick outside of the NFL. Pick one of the NFL play-by-play guys, but then have like a whole cast of like Hall of Famers. I personally
Mhm.
would be more for that, getting a bunch of guys' opinions. And I don't know. I guess if you got too many guys up there, maybe if you rotate that second guy out, that analyst guy out, do Tom Brady, then do Troy Aikman, then do I don't know. You could throw anyone up there. I think that knows the game like that. That's a Hall
Even
of
like the
Famer.
Mannings or whatever.
Yeah, the Mannings would be great. It's just you'd have to probably pay them quite a bit to get up there in the booth with you. I think there's a
That
reason why they
zoom
do the
out
Manning
about times
cast,
10 for their big head.
especially for Peyton. Yeah,
That's my point.
yeah. I don't know. I was really underwhelmed. It's not even the broadcast team very much. I've never been a fan of Chris Collinsworth. I don't like his voice. I don't think he's a good commentator personally. I don't know. I never really cared for what he had to say. I've never heard him call a game where I'm like, man, Chris Collinsworth really drew me into that game. Um, I think there's certain guys that, like, if you look at team broadcast guys, like I know Oklahoma's broadcast, Toby Rowland, he is. I mean, he's got Emmys and stuff. Like he's won awards for how good of a broadcaster he is, and several like team specific broadcasters. Like it's the reason why is because they get you so drawn into the game. Or
Hmm.
Kirk Herbstreit is so great in college football, and now he's even doing Thursday night football too, which is even crazier to think like how much knowledge he has to have up in his head on both leagues. But
Hmm.
the reason why guys like that are so impressive and so fun to listen to is that they'll tell you something that if you were even if you were kind of higher knowledge football watcher like one of us, is one that like we know the sport pretty well, but they still tell you things and explain things that you didn't see. I didn't think Chris Collinsworth really did any of that for me yesterday. And so that I don't know, I was very underwhelmed. But let's get into the game. Again, I love defensive games. I really do. And so I know that there's not a whole lot of highlights. But I will say, I felt like both defenses came out with a different type of strategy. And the Patriots defense is not going to get enough love because they were letting up, they let up 12 points unanswered in the beginning, but it was all off of field goals. And it was really all the Seahawks defense and special teams that won that entire game. And so I think that the Seahawks played very sound, spread out defense, but they were just attacking. They did not let Drake May breathe. And then on top of that, I don't know why nobody told him, watch for that corner blitz. I feel like it was Witherspoon almost every time coming in on that corner
Yeah.
blitz, and it was never picked up by the offensive line, and he never called it out. He never found it and shifted the protection or anything. And so somebody had to step in there, help him out, and it was just obvious that he never saw it all night. And so, yeah, that was a big one. And so, yeah, the Seahawks defense just pressed them backwards so far. And the special teams was so good because not only did Myers kick however many points now I forget, but he had more points than the entire team combined, and not only was he able to kick the field goals, but then I forget their punter's name now, but the Aussie, he was putting them inside the 10, inside the 5, on the 1 yard line. I mean, he was just placing that ball so deep that the Patriots had to get out of their own territory so often that, I mean, it was just impossible for the Patriots to do anything. So I thought that that was huge. And man, I don't know. I'm not sure that I really have like that one highlight play, but I mean, it was just, I liked the defensive game. I thought that's what made it more fun to watch for me. And the Patriots defense, the thing that they got wrong was that they were trying to attack the ball so hard that it would just get past them at times. And that's what got those big chunk plays. And then they spread out and just covered the way that the Seattle defense was and didn't let them score a touchdown, but then they were giving up 3 nonstop. And so I liked the game. I thought the game was really fun to watch because I love defensive games. And then you got some of that explosion in the back end of the game to really make it a little bit more interesting. It's just that interception by Drake May really is what killed the Patriots ultimately.
Yeah, that interception. I mean, you even heard Chris Collinsworth say right after the show, the first replay, says, "Well, I got nothing." But I
Yeah,
mean,
I thought that was hilarious.
that did make me laugh. I'm like, well, that's not where it's supposed to go. And then Chris Collinsworth, well,
But
I got
again,
nothing.
as an analyst, break that down. Like, I don't know. It was a funny comment, but it
Yeah.
was just like, all right, but you're an analyst. You should have something, you know? And so maybe to throw that out there as a joke and then come out with the analysis of the play. Yeah, just,
Yeah.
anyways, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. But also to throw it back for when you were talking about the Seahawks kicker, it's Michael Dixon for
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's right.
Aussie. Then, I mean, he was definitely a big time attribution to help the Seattle defense getting them inside the New England's red zone and just really inside the 10-yard line. I mean, he was playing an electric game to say the least. But I mean, it's one thing you can talk about the Super Bowl. You can talk about the MVP for Walker. You can talk about this. You can talk about that. But I mean, if I was Richard Sherman right now, I would be grinning ear to ear because that honestly seemed like another Legion of Doom for what we seen. I know they even talked about during the game before for their average. I think it was like 17.2 or 17.4 or something like that. Then nothing since 2015, and that literally was like almost a spitting image of the Legion of Doom for the Seattle Seahawks, and they definitely did play unbelievable. Defense showed up to shut them out. I mean, Drake May was having a heck of a day just because that defense was not allowing him to do anything. But looking on the other side of the things for the New England Patriots, if there's one person I gotta at least give a sincere shout out to just to keep the game a lot closer than what it was Gonzalez. I
Yeah.
mean, breaking up some big time plays. I mean, he was literally playing lockdown defense out on the wideouts, and especially some big guys like Njigba and just whoever he was lined up against. He was definitely playing like there's no tomorrow, which pun intended. I mean, now that the season's over, that you can't focus on to the next week.
Yeah,
But
Christian
still,
Gonzalez and then their safety too, Craig Woodson.
Craig Wilson,
Yeah,
yeah,
those two were just they were lights out for the Pats defense, and yeah,
yeah,
but Gonzalez, man, he was just flying through the air, playing the ball beautifully, and yeah,
yeah,
I hated it for the defense because it was like you could see the demoralization too every time that there would be a 3-and-out. You're like, crap, man, come on, like, or the interception was like a really big, just like gut punch to the defense. They're like, all right, we got our guys back in the game, we got a chance. Let's do
hmm
this thing, and then the interception. You just saw the whole defense on the sideline just go like, "You got to be
no
kidding!
way,
Like
yeah.
this can't be happening."
Yeah, but I mean, even also one thing that to talk about, like minus the actual performance of the game itself, what myself, my fiance, my mother, we were all sitting down up in the living room watching the game. I mean, there was a couple things that I want to ask you, Josh. I mean, first off, does it seem like this was like the fastest played Super Bowl ever with how much running clock there was?
My wife and I were talking about that last night. Like when we were driving home from my parents' house, it was like, wow, okay, we just watched like the whole ceremony after, and we're heading home, and it's 9:30. Like
Yeah,
it started a little earlier. I feel like it doesn't usually start at 5:30 Central
I
Time.
always thought it was like 6, but I mean, take it for granted,
I
it's
thought
also
so.
on the coast.
Yeah, but I loved it. I thought it
Oh
was
yeah.
awesome. And let's do. I mean, if you're gonna play it on a Sunday, that's how to do it. Because most of us have to get up for work the next day. So
That
I
is
loved
true.
it. I thought it did feel really fast. But again, the defensive side of the game is kind of what kind of sped the game up quite a bit. And there were hardly any penalties. I mean, there was like maybe 2 or 3 penalties the entire first half.
If that, I think, maybe at the absolute most. But I mean, you can look that up if you want to, Josh. But my next question that I wanted to ask you, I mean, like at times to where New England was on offense, and you see Drake May roll back in the pocket here. It was it just me, or did it seem like his throwing ability? It seemed like it was slow motion. Like a lot of it was slowed down compared to what we've seen. Like take it for granted, like Drake May's still. I mean, you and I both consider him a rookie in the NFL, obviously. But I mean, like it just seemed like he didn't come out throwing the ball a million miles an hour. Which I mean, respectfully, being that young of a QB, yeah, it's nice to be able to have a quick zinger, but I mean, the last thing you want is to throw it too fast to have a knuckleball, then that could wind up for an interception. But I mean, it seemed like it to me in after halftime when they go out, especially like late third, early fourth quarter, it just seemed like Drake May's passing ability was just it just slowed down a lot, and it just seemed like it just seemed like he couldn't throw like how he normally did. But I don't know what my that's my opinion. But what would you think?
He was definitely off all night, and I didn't
Yeah, it's
understand
true.
that at all. It just it was really bad throws. There was so many opportunities that he had a guy out in open space. I know there was one where they were backed up inside their own 5 from a beautiful punt,
Yeah.
and he just overthrows his tight end. It can't connect, and just like if he connects there, he's easily up near midfield. I know that there was that interception was like nowhere near any target, so I'm not even sure where he was going with it. But I think he was going deep. I don't remember the receiver, but he was coming across the field deep. And if he connects there, and if he does get to that guy, then it was probably a touchdown. But instead, he like way underthrows it, and it gets picked off. There was another one. Again, one of the few good calls was where Chris Collinsworth kind of teased and said that he thought that the Seattle defense almost could have fair caught the interception if they were able to pull it down. So yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of them. I agree with you. I think kind of slow motion, just wasn't getting to this target. Several passes behind his receivers, underneath his receivers. Yeah, even that, like the touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson was like thrown out there to him. He should have just tucked it and ran. I don't know why he didn't, but he threw it to him and almost caused him to drop the ball and didn't even get the touchdown. So yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was really off game for Drake May, and a guy who is, I think he led the league in completion percentage this past year too, and he was just off. I think he was under 50%. But I know Kenneth Walker ended up getting the MVP of the game. Did you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. He was a workhorse for Seattle, and just being able to do everything that he did. I mean, it's one thing to back it up for stats and performances, but I mean, he, just watching him do it. I mean, how many times did he come up to the line? It seems like he just literally stop and just wait for a hole to open up, then all of a sudden he'd hit third gear and just take off. I mean, he was averaging 5 yards per rush. For overall rushing yards, he had 135 on the game itself. I mean, and only having 27 attempts for rushing. Like,
I'm
Ken,
sorry. Go ahead. Finish your
I
thought.
mean, Kenneth Walker, in my honest opinion, he definitely did deserve the MVP. But I mean, a lot of people were thinking that it should go to Darnold. But realistically, for overall, I mean, Kenneth Walker did it throughout the entire game just to show up, and he definitely shut them down for their defensive and especially their secondary.
So for me, I thought I am okay with Kenneth. I figured they would give it to Kenneth Walker. That was my assumption.
Hmm.
For me, I say either Jason Myers. He was 5 for 5, and then 2 extra point conversions. So he had 17 total points in that game. And so scored over half of the points for his team.
Yeah.
And it would either be Jason Myers or Michael Dixon, who punted 7 times, averaged almost 48 yards per punt, and got them inside the 5-yard line. How many times? He was inside the 23 times. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like either one of those two guys Or if you look over at the defensive side of the ball, because I know, again, kickers, punters, they're not going to get an MVP award, so nobody shows them love. I thought there
It
were
sucks.
several defensive guys that could have won it. I thought Devon Witherspoon could have been one of those guys. I thought Ernest Jones with 10 total solo tackles could have won it. Josh Jobe was another guy that could have won it. There was several defensive guys. I mean, you could give it to the entire defense and just have one of them
Literally.
represent the defense. But yeah, I thought there were several other worthy players. Don't get me wrong, Kenneth totally deserved it, and I'm happy he won it. It's just I don't know. I would have preferred someone either on the defense or one of the two specialists to receive the MVP personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it, but I mean, even like throwing another name out, like I know I mentioned for Darnold, I mean, being able to get your offense going. I mean, I know he really relied on the run game. There wasn't as many deep shots like what we were really expecting. I mean, overall for this game, I mean, we were expecting it to almost kind of be like a shootout, in my honest opinion. But this definitely was not what we expected. But I mean, still, another reason why I say for Darnold to get an MVP is just because you look at what he's been through and where he's been bounced around. I mean, with his time in San Francisco, Minnesota, and the list goes on and on and on. Up in now from the last time for Minnesota, now up to Seattle. I mean, I could probably tell you right now, Josh. I know Minnesota is probably shooting themselves in the foot here a little bit, saying that we shouldn't have let him go. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do for the Minnesota Vikings. But still, I mean, congratulations to the entire Seahawks and the entire organization on getting that Super Bowl, and then having some definite redemption from the last time that they had the Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, and yeah, I thought overall the game was a lot of fun. I had a blast, and hopefully
Yeah,
everybody else did too. I mean,
definitely.
I thought overall the game was satisfying. I mean, it's about as much as I could say. But let's move on to our special segment, Rapid Rants. This is where each of us gets 60 seconds to rant about anything and everything. It could be something in the world. It could be something in the sports world. Obviously, that's where we tend to lean towards because this is a sports podcast. But we've got 60 seconds, and I've actually got something here. So at the end of the 60 seconds, Jeremy, so it will actually cut us off, we'll hear this noise. So
There we go.
we'll get that as our 60 seconds. Of course, I don't have the timer on the screen, so I'll make sure to buzz that. You go ahead and start us off with your rapid rant of the evening.
All right, starting off with my rapid rant of the evening. I mean, I know we've seen a lot about this mercy rule and such, that they needed to enforce it a lot sooner, a lot quicker, a whole bunch of different things. But the one thing that kind of grinds my gears a little bit, that this is actually local, the Morningside University Mustangs college baseball team. They played against a team named Calvary. I've never heard of them. I never had a chance to really look up and see where they were. When I talk about mercy rule, I know a lot of the run rules, it's up by 10 and they usually decide to waive it. But the Morningside Mustangs came out winning 42-2. I mean, they put up 24 runs in the bottom of the second. Then the third, they put up 2. The fourth, they put up 7. Then the fifth, they put up 9. And then finally said, you know what? I think they've had enough. I mean, they've had enough after the second inning, for Christ's sake. That was definitely absolutely crazy. But, I mean, Josh, the run rule definitely needs to be enforced a lot sooner. I know it's completely different in every single division.
Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, that really scared me more than anything. But I mean, they need to honestly do it just for like every single rule, because like you see the NCAA, the D1s and all this and that they have after so much. But I mean, they just need to do it in every single aspect throughout, whether it be GPAC, D1, D2, whatever the situation is. But yeah, they just need to enforce it a lot more.
Jeremy with the rapid rant of the evening. All right, yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a certain point where, I mean, there's certain games that you watch and it's like, all right, you can tell like neither side really wants to be here anymore. It's you said they won, what was it, 42?
42-2.
That should be illegal to. I mean, they should have to serve time for manslaughter.
You would think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's
I'm
kind of
not
crazy.
got the get out of jail free card for this one, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be. If you reach 40, I mean, gosh, if you reach 20 points by the end of 2 innings, all right, we're just going to call it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you're coming back. I mean,
Give everyone your money
it's
back, and here you
possible.
go.
It's possible, I guess, if you really draw up some kind of crazy scenario that would never happen. Sure, it's possible, but it's just so improbable. We have to find some sort of stoppage here. We have to find some sort of mercy rule. If I'm the other team, I'm just throwing in the towel, like literally throwing a towel out on the field and getting my players.
Throw
Let's
the
go.
bats on the field, throw the
We're out.
gloves, and just let's go.
We out. We out.
Start the bus.
Got to get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. For my rapid rant, I'll get us going here with mine. I think that the NCAA needs to get their heads out of their butts, and we talk about the NCAA a lot. And we could keep on going on and on about the NCAA and how terrible they are. They don't govern anything right. But when it comes to some of these appeals for fifth-year seniors, sometimes they're passing and allowing players to play for 7 years, 8 years. But then there's some, and specifically the reason why this really grinds my gears, the reason why it chaps my ass is that you've got Oklahoma's player Owen Heineke, who is not being allowed to come back for another year, for his 5th year, even though this was only his first season actually playing, because he played a total of 13 minutes in a lacrosse game in his freshman year at Ohio State. 13 total minutes of play time, and he's being stopped for that. So, that's what I think we need to really talk about, because I think that ultimately the NCAA just has to get their head out of their butt and figure this out, because they're allowing players to keep on transferring to how many different schools. And now you got a guy like Owen Heineke, and I think there's others out there that deserve another shot. I think that Chambliss is another one that I don't know why they would hold him back. You're going to hold him back for his time at an FCS school. I don't know. Let's figure this thing out and stop being morons about it, I guess.
Yeah, I agree, man. But like, I just even one person I can think of off the top of my head, like, the guy who was down at the University of Miami for, if memory serves me correctly, was for 8 years for college football. But like, it's one thing for injuries and such like this. Like, I totally understand that, but any other type of situation, like, you need to draw a fine line in the sand, and you just need to actually put your foot down and just let them know that it's something that happens here, Josh. But I mean, whatever can help you get your ass unchapped, I mean, you do you. But I mean, it's
I don't know if
definitely
they make
something.
chapstick for that or not, but I'll have to be looking into it on Amazon. But
I might.
no,
That might be your next birthday present.
with Owen Heineke though, he literally had played an entire 13 minutes of college lacrosse, and they're not allowing him to do another year at Oklahoma. So he ended up quitting lacrosse to be a walk-on at Oklahoma, ended up earning his spot at Oklahoma and getting play time, and now he's not going to be allowed to come in for another year. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but it's definitely something to keep our eye on, because the NCAA needs to get their head out of my chapped ass. But anyways,
oh my gosh.
It is officially Olympics time. I don't know if there's some sort of rule that says we're not allowed to say the Olympics, but anyways, it's very exciting. I guess before we get into talking about the 2026 Olympics and diving into that, real quick word from our sponsors over at All Hockey Sticks.
Today's episode is brought to you by All Hockey Sticks. All Hockey Sticks is a hockey stick company built by a former player with one mission: deliver elite performance at an honest price. Designed for quick release and consistent feel, All Hockey Sticks gives players pro quality level without the inflated costs. Starting at $179 for seniors and $139 for juniors. All hockey, all the time. Make sure to go to allhockeysticks.com and use code RISING for 15% off. Again, that's code RISING, RISING, for 15% off.
All right, Jeremy, let's get into it. 2026 Olympics, they have been here this past weekend, and Currently, as we sit, let me refresh this so I make sure I get it right here. USA is sitting at 5th place, but there really hasn't been a whole lot to go on yet. So we haven't really gotten into the meat of it. Sitting at 5th place, you got Norway at number 1 with 3 gold medals, 6 overall. Sweden at number 2 with 3 gold medals, 5 overall. Japan at number 3 with 2 gold medals and 7 overall. Germany at number 4 with 2 gold medals and 4 overall. And then USA at number 5. Who cares about the rest of them? We're just getting to USA because that's who we cheer for, right? But
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
I always forget until Olympics time that there are certain sports and certain events that are so much fun to watch in the Olympics. And it's stuff that you just wouldn't ever really imagine to be fun or things that you would find yourself sitting and watching. I know for the Summer Olympics, I know my wife and I like sitting there and watching specifically women's water polo. So much fun to watch because they're so good and it's crazy how talented they are in that. But into the Winter Olympics, what is a sport in the Winter Olympics here that you've seen that you're like, wow, I'm kind of drawn into this and never thought I would be?
I mean, I'm not trying to be biased here, but I mean, I kind of am the hockey guy here, and that's always stuck out to me. It's just I've loved hockey ever since I've been growing up. Like I know I gotta wait a couple more days because it doesn't start till 11th. But if I had to sincerely say something other than ice hockey, I honestly like it when they do snowboarding for whether it be the half pipe or just do the overall freestyle. Like that was my biggest thing. I always love watching Shaun White, especially in the Winter Olympics. I mean, it definitely was a big attribution and the reason why I started getting into snowboarding. But I mean, I would go up to Sioux Falls, just an hour up the road, go up to Great Bear Mountain Resort and do some snowboarding up there. But I mean, just being able to watch the Olympics and just watching everyone go over to wherever the Olympics is for that corresponding year, and then of course this year being over in Italy. I mean, it's really cool to see all the different types of people from whatever country you're from and just go and represent your corresponding country and just try and show out just to bring home a gold medal. Because I mean, it's one thing to bring home like say a national championship for a school, for example, but I mean you're not only bringing a gold medal home for your corresponding country, but you're bringing a gold medal home to your home, and that can be displayed in your trophy case for the rest of your life. And how many people can sincerely say, hey, go look at my trophy case. Go look at not my national championship rings, but look at my gold medal that I got over at the Olympics.
Yeah, that's got to be an incredible feeling. And so, I mean, I love watching the emotion. I don't care what event it is, and I won't say
Hmm.
sport because some of them I just don't know how you categorize them as sports. The luge, for example.
Yeah.
Who came up with this? You're laying backwards on a sled. I'm sure it's difficult and it's probably scary as heck. I wouldn't do it, but it's just so weird to me. I'm not fascinated. I don't find it fun. I was watching. It's not really fun to watch for me, but it is really fascinating and impressive. The race, the what is it? The ice skating
Bobsled.
racing.
Uh,
The
uh,
the I'm trying to think of what that's called now, but that
I
that
know what
was
you're
one
talking
that I
about
found myself watching yesterday.
with
Uh,
the speed skating.
yeah, speed skating, and they are, I mean, impressive. It's just boring to watch, but I think the sport that so one of them that I've really been getting into that I never realized that I liked because I've seen it before, and I've never really gotten into it. I've never thought it was even interesting. I always thought it was weird. Figure skating is so impressive. I mean, you can speak to this. You're a really good skater, but the fact that they go out there and they're doing backflips and like twirling around up in the air and the balance that they have to be able to, like the U.S. team that won one of the team events where the guy, it looked like a bald guy and maybe like a Filipino or something like that woman. She was kind of a smaller woman and he's like sitting there like holding her up in the air while he's like twirling around and stuff. And I don't know, it's just incredible
Hmm.
what they can do. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, that's been one that I thought was a lot of fun. But then another one that I actually really enjoy watching. I will sit there and scream at the TV for it type of watching. Like I'm invested into it. We were talking about it here just a little while back is curling. Like
Yeah.
I've never actually watched curling. I knew what it was, and I knew kind of the gist of it. But goodness, that is impressive how like exact they have to be, and they're getting it. I mean, I saw the one where I think it was today, where like the guy like that he gets it down there. So I'm trying to remember the other country that was going against the American team, but they basically blocked him, and he was going to have to hit three different whatever the big pucks are that they have. I don't even know what they're called. I'm not that big of a fan, I guess, but he ended up having to hit three different ones out of the way. So it like tink, 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 and slid his towards the middle to end up moving on. And then today there was the team where I think it was the girl that kind of shoved the puck thing, and then the guy was sitting there sweeping and ended up bouncing it bouncing one out of the way to get theirs closer to go for the qualifying round for gold. So, I mean, curling is one that I don't know anything. I don't even know what's going on. I don't even understand how they're doing it. Or I also saw another one where they curved the puck. That was impressive. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing and everything, but curling is pretty awesome. I have to say it's impressive.
I'll help you out here, Josh. It's called a curling stone. Then
okay, well that's too simple. I think puck sounds cooler.
But here, I mean, yeah, but
we'll change the rules. We'll change the rules. We'll make it great again. All right.
Yeah, but there you go. But I mean, I want to throw this out there, Josh. I mean, you would think, yeah, they're sliding on ice. They wouldn't. It's not that crazy heavy, but those things weigh 38 to almost 45 pounds.
Yeah, that's impressive. How far do you have it pulled up? How far do they have to slide that curling stone?
I can take a look at it here.
I thought maybe you had it pulled up. My bad.
No, it's 10. The curling player, they typically slide 10 to 15 feet, but for overall, it's 33 feet that they have to slide.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
10 meters.
That's impressive. I mean, it's going a long ways, and then like it also takes like the coordination with your teammate. You're listening to them and trying to visualize a little bit more or less. You're paying attention to them and sweeping. It's a lot of fun to watch, I think.
Communication definitely is a big time factor when it comes to curling. Like I've only seen it in person one time, and the only reason why I wouldn't say it in a bad way, but my buddy Carson, his girlfriend, actually does curling up in Minnesota, and
the curling capital of the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it makes sense, but
I learned that today.
It's actually a lot more fun than you realistically think. I know I'd like to try at least once. But knowing my odds, I would probably fall face first on my face in the broom, the scrubber that you have to do in front. It would probably go flying 10 feet behind me. So I'm just going to stick to playing hockey. But
I just always pictured it as like that shuffleboard that you have like with the salt on the table, like whatever that game is called. But that's how I always pictured it. Which that's a cool game, but it's just not impressive. But when you actually watch it live, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely is really cool. But also one other thing, like that I do like sincerely watching. I completely drew a blank of this, but like watching the team bobsledding, like going down the track, of course. But I mean, if there's one particular thing that
the U.S. team,
I did.
Way to embarrass our country. Come on.
But
it is
besides
fun.
The point.
I mean, it's cool. But like falling, tripping, and then the one dude smacking the side. I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? You're representing the U.S.
Yeah, that would be me biffing it on my face.
That would be you because I accidentally fell forward and shoved you into the post.
Yeah, you tripped my feet off of me. I'm like, you jerk! What are you doing? But
I would just throw a football in the ice cold, like in the freezing cold outside, and hit you right in the square in the face. But that's the only thing I would do.
Just try not to break my glasses this time. But I mean, just overall, like the main reason that got me into team bobsled team, I know this is going to kind of sound a little bit cheesy here, but the movie Cool Runnings honestly got me into watching bobsledding. I mean, if you've never seen the movie Cool Runnings, look it up. It is a funny movie, but it's a really inspiring. It's based off of a true story, and go give it a watch. That movie definitely will inspire you to watch more and more bobsledding.
I'll have to check it out.
You've never seen it?
No, I don't think I have. It doesn't sound familiar.
Oh
No.
my gosh. We
Well,
got
you
to
know
have a
what?
chat
We're
after.
we're setting up a whole movie room here at my house, so we'll have to come over and watch it on the projector.
There we go.
All right. It is the end of the 2025 to 2026 season, which means we have the entire off season, but really quick, just way too early. And we're going to speed through this one too, Jeremy, not to spend too much time on it because we are kind of running late here tonight. But let's get into our way too early 2026 NFL favorites. Whether you want to pick just a team or maybe there's a couple teams that you want to throw out there. What's a team that you think has a really good chance to either go really far or, hey, this is my favorite to win the Super Bowl in 2026, 2027 season?
I'm just gonna do one particular. Okay, I'll do two. But the one team I'll just be flat out biased with is just the Cincinnati Bengals. Because I always gotta say the Cincinnati Bengals. But I mean, I can't hold my head high for that one just because we can never know what the heck is gonna happen with us. But if I had to say one particular team in particular, I'm honestly looking at the Denver Broncos just because of how far you got with Bo Nix and just for what he was capable of doing this entire season, having a coach like Sean Payton under the helm. I mean, those two have a phenomenal chemistry. I mean, they both haven't known each other for stupid long, nothing compared to like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick here. But I mean, you give them a lot more time together, and I think that they could definitely be bringing home a Super Bowl back to, I mean, over to Denver to say the least within the next, I honestly say 3 to 4 years at the absolute most.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Denver Broncos. That was one of the teams that I thought of. But I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was really impressed with them this season. I thought that they brought out a much better team than expected under Liam Cohen's first or second year. Is it his second year? So
Yeah.
yeah, going into year three. I mean, hey, this has got to be his year, right? So I was really impressed with them this year. I felt like Trevor Lawrence came out and played the way that we expected Trevor Lawrence to play earlier on in his career. And so if he comes out and plays that way, they get everything else going. You get a Travis Hunter in there a little bit more and get him more involved. I thought he had a really good rookie season. I think just adding a couple of pieces, maybe on the defensive side of the ball, to really help solidify that team, I think the Jaguars could be a really dangerous team and kind of an underrated team going into next season. So that's the one I'm going to look at way too early. I wanted to get a little bit deeper into that, but I know that we're running late on time. So I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars. And of course, Duval.
Duval. Can't
All
forget
right.
the old Duval.
There is one event that I know if you're an American, you just have to be excited for it. I don't care what your opinion on politics is. If you love America and the history of the United States, I think that this is the coolest idea ever. Now, I know a lot of people probably have differing opinions on this, but having a UFC event in front of the White House, where one angle you get the White House in the background, and the other angle you get the Washington Monument. I think that's one of the coolest ideas of all time, and Dana White is bringing it to life. Now, yeah, it seems a little silly just from the pure just bringing it out there. More I think about it, the more excited I'm getting about it, and it's for all the reasons that Dana White has mentioned. You know, there is the way that the U.S. history and how the country is supposed to look and view and revere the White House. I think this is awesome. I think this is such a cool event. Jeremy, I mean, first initial thoughts on having the UFC event in near 4th of July. It's not going to be on 4th of July as originally hoped for, but what are your initial thoughts here on this event?
My initial thoughts on this event, I'm honestly going to say in one word: wow. Just because, I mean, look at what everyone they were talking about USC when they went to the Sphere in Vegas. I mean, it's one thing to see all the the video boards on the inside and the outside of the Sphere. Like, it was just one thing to hear about it, but actually watching it, as I remember you and I were watching it in your backyard with the screen up and everything, and the very first fight that came on, I got goosebumps,
Yeah,
and
that
it
that whole
wasn't even the
event was
main
amazing.
event.
And
that
I think
event
this is
was
going to be better than that.
really.
I think it's going to be better. I mean, that's the way that Dana's painting it out to be. I mean,
I
that was an amazing event, and it'll probably be better for certain aspects like the storytelling and everything.
right.
I would venture to say that Dana's going to have some sort of storytelling similar to that. Obviously, you're not going to have the big old spherical screen around the arena or anything. I feel like Dana's going to throw in some sort of like history kind of stuff, like hidden in between little Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff, like he did with the Sphere event.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do that with this one, but it's on June June 14th. And so they were originally hoping to do it on July 3rd, but then I guess July 4th. I think they wanted to do it 4th of July weekend, but then they realized like that's just such a packed weekend, and there's no way you're going to make it work. So doing it on Flag Day and also on Trump's birthday, so he gets to have a little bit of his own celebration. And what better way for him to celebrate his birthday than hosting a UFC event out on the White House? One thing before people get too political with it is that the UFC is going to be footing every penny of the bill and then some. It's going to take $700,000 just to reconstruct the South Lawn. So I mean, it's going to be an incredible event, and Dana keeps on releasing little bits of information as we get closer. But of course, there have been a ton of fighters all saying that they're going to be a part of it, that they want to be a part of it. They're throwing their hat in the ring. It was like announced shortly after John Jones ended up retiring, and then he came out and was like, "Hey, count me in. I'll unretire for that one." Of course, you've got guys like Conor McGregor wanting to be in it. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, but it's been very clear and very loud from Dana that matchup is just not going to happen. So don't count on that one. But okay, how about this though? So the weigh-ins are going to take place at the Lincoln Memorial. That is awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a history buff because I'm not very good at like remembering history and stuff like that. I guess I just haven't spent a lot of time. I could if I spent more time in it, but I do love learning about history. So that part of me, and learning about history, and also kind of revering history the way that you ought to. So I think that's awesome. Not only that, but you're also going to have the fighters. They're going to be walking out from the Oval Office.
Okay, now you got me. This is gonna be more crazy than the Sphere. Now you got me here.
Well, and so they're going to be warming up. Like all the fighters are going to be warming up inside the White House. I mean, how cool is that?
That's insane, dude.
I think this whole event is amazing.
Like it's already one thing with like the amount of security that they have at the White House, but I mean, then once you bring in like with the USC and everything, like that security is gonna be it's gonna be locked tighter than Fort Knox, to say the least. Like that's insane.
Absolutely, yeah, and for that too, everyone's going to have to go through extensive background checks and get the Secret Service security clearances. They're going to have to go through a lot. There's not going to be any public tickets sold at all to this event.
Yeah,
it's all going to be private, basically a huge private event. And so I know I was talking to somebody about it. How cool would it be if they had, even if you just gave, if there's 4,000 people there, maybe 5,000 people, if you at least gave like 1,000 of them to military, I think that would be
really
cool.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
I would venture to say that you've got 1,000 military people that would be ecstatic about that, whether it be current or veterans. I'm not sure how you choose and how you narrow it down, but I feel like you got to find a way to get at least a large number of military there. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would definitely be extraordinary. I mean, it's one thing to just be in the just Washington, D.C. alone, but being at the White House and just everything that's going to correspond and happen, that would be absolutely monumental. I know a lot of those guys would be humbled just to be able to step on the yard of the White House, yet alone just walk through the gate. I mean, it just mind boggles me each more and more that we talk about this, Josh, and I can't wait.
Well, and I'll send you a picture. I'll try to get one uploaded somehow if I can. But yeah, like the renderings, the early renderings of what it could look like is amazing. So Dana's kind of talked about this as being kind of like this big arch, almost like the St. Louis arch that goes over to kind of get, that way it doesn't obstruct the view of the White House itself or of any of the background and stuff. And he's trying to make sure there's not any screens blocking anything. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I get excited about it. I think it's going to be a cool event. I know that there's mixed opinions on it. And then to cap it off with a laser slash fireworks show at the end,
Oh, that's
it's going to be pretty awesome. I know Dana White, and I know how he operates with these types of events. He turned the UFC from millions of dollars in debt to being a multi-million-dollar profitable company and then some. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a crazy event, and I know the more info that we get leading up to the event, the more we're going to be talking about it. We still got a little bit of time as it's coming up in June, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm extremely excited for it. I know you are too, Jeremy. But anyways, that's all we've got for tonight. We appreciate everybody so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on social media. We're all over the place. Check us out. Follow us on social media to keep up with the show and so much more. And of course, you can find everything we do at rising2.com. That's risingto.com. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you next time.